Welcome again to the Solid Signal podcast for the week of January 26th, 2015. I know that last week I gave you a podcast about sports, and so the last thing that you're expecting from me is another podcast about sports. After all, this isn't ESPN radio. This is the Solid Signal podcast where we love to talk about antennas, cellular boosters, satellite TV, all of that sort of stuff. But sports just keeps hitting me back in the face. So listen, you're going to get a little bit of opinion and a little bit of anger about what's going on in the world of sports this week. It is practically impossible to go through your day without hearing a little bit of something about what they're calling Deflategate or Ballghazi or some other fancy name, but basically finding out that it's very clear at this point. The New England Patriots used deflated footballs for the first half of the championship game, and even though it's also clear that that probably didn't help them, they would have won without it, it brings up a very good question about the issue of fairness in sports. You know, my friends, for most of my life I was not a big sports fan, and I came to a grudging relationship with the world of sports because I understood that there was something that sports could teach us as a culture. It wasn't just a massive waste of money. It wasn't just an enormous entertainment expense designed to give a very small number of people a very large amount of money. Sports, my friends, boils down to two things: fair play. Two things, you say? Fair is one of them. Play is the other. The very thing that sports tells us is that if we exert ourselves, if we work hard, that we will be able to rise up to a certain level. Now, obviously, sports figures have a certain amount of natural ability that none of us non-sports figures are going to have, myself included. But it doesn't mean that they didn't try very hard, work very hard to take what they were given and turn it into something more. That's the essential fairness of sports. That's what sports teaches us. And when we find that our sports figures are cheating in some way, disobeying the law in some way, disobeying the rules in some way, or just flat out being what we consider unethical, it rubs me the wrong way. Why? Because there are people from ages 6 to 60 who look at these sports figures as heroes. They look at them as role models. And if we're telling people it's okay to cheat as long as you don't get caught, everybody does it, the rule book just doesn't cover every contingency, that's wrong. I expect an awful lot more out of the money that I and my pay TV provider pay for sports. So that's the fair part. What about the play part? That says that when you go out on the field, on the diamond, on the court, on the ice, on the oval, whatever it is, that you're out there to win, and you're out there to give your all. You know, sometimes I see that out of sports figures, and sometimes what I see is plans that are designed to exploit the rules. That's not playing, and certainly not fair play. Go out there, do what you need to do, take the advantages that you can take, but don't spend so much time obsessing over the rule book. You know what's right. For example, making sure that all the balls are consistent, that's right. Making sure that the balls are deflated enough so that you somehow get some benefit that I still can't understand what you would get out of that, that's wrong. Fair play, my friends, and that is the essence of sports. That is why I'm a sports fan, and it's probably why you're a sports fan too. And it's why, even though I am a self-identified New England Patriots fan, I decry what was done. Whether or not Mr. Belichick, whether or not Mr. Brady knew about it, not the point. When the team fails, we all fail. And when one person on the team fails, the whole team fails. It's as simple as that. So this Super Bowl, by the way, you will be able to live stream supposedly using the NBC app, which is great. And on another topic, I'd like to point out that I've been told by insiders and outsiders that we will very soon be able to get not only the Watch ESPN app on DirecTV, but also the Fox Sports Go app on DirecTV. I don't know about you guys, but I'm psyched. that's my soapbox for this week. Next week, I'll give you a much better podcast filled with all sorts of things about antennas, satellites, cell boosters, and all the great things we sell at Solid Signal. For this week, I'm just a little bit too peeved.